Hi all, myself Isha Gautam, part of Cisco Unity Connection messaging team. I'm going to present a TOI for Office 365 with Cisco Unity Connection 8.6.2. To give an overview, Microsoft Office 365 is an Exchange Online. Connectivity through proxy will be done. Web proxy to access the Internet. It supports auto-discovery. Voicemail syncing is done. What is Microsoft Office 365? Microsoft Office 365 is a Microsoft's latest hosted solution. Microsoft Office 365 includes the Microsoft Office suite of desktop applications and hosted version of Microsoft Server products, that is, Exchange servers, the next version of CPaaS, Business Productivity Online Services. It is powered by Microsoft Exchange Online, which works on Exchange 2010 SP1 and above. What's new? The previous version of Cisco Unity Connection, that is 8.6.1 and 8.5.x, contains only two unified messaging service types, Exchange or BPaaS and Meeting Place. The new version of Cisco Unity Connection, that is 8.6.2, introduced an additional unified messaging service for Microsoft Office 365 as Office 365. This UM service works on streaming rather than push notification type, unlike previous versions. How is this different from previous unified messaging services? Microsoft Office 365 is a hosted exchange rather than on-prem exchange. Notification type is streaming rather than push. In some organizations, HTTPS traffic is routed through a proxy, so a proxy field is on a unified messaging service page is added. Microsoft Exchange throttling is enabled on Microsoft Office 365 environment by default. Introduced new KUKA, that is Cisco Unity Connection Administrator page for Office 365. In this new page, we have introduced two new fields, type as Office 365 and proxy server as new fields, which we have to be created as address, proxy address and port. Explaining these fields further, we'll moving to next slide. Type as Office 365 enabled. It is a checkbox to allow Cisco Unity Connection to access the Office 365 servers. Displayed name, it is a descriptive name for the service. Proxy server, address or host name, port. It is the IP address or host name of proxy server and the port of the proxy server. Searching for hosted Exchange server. Active Directory DNS domain name is entered to search the Office 365 Exchange server via auto-discovery. Specifying the hosted Exchange server. Server name or IP address of Office 365 Exchange server is entered in this field. Username. Username of the domain service account created on Office 365 is entered in this field. Password. Password for domain service account entered in username field. Service capabilities. There are three service capabilities. TTS, to use text-to-speech to listen to Office 365 emails. Exchange calendar and contacts, to access Office 365 calendars and contacts. SIB, that is single inbox. Cisco Unity Connection and Office 365 mailboxes to be synchronized for users. Message action for email. Select the action that Cisco Unity Connection takes when user receives an email message. Message action for fax. Select the action that Cisco Unity Connection takes when the user receives an fax mail. New features for Microsoft Office 365. Changes made to Cisco Unity Connection to configure Microsoft Office 365 Unified Messaging Services. This is the introduction of streaming notification type. Unity Connection needs to support a AWS notification mechanism that is feasible for Office 365 deployments. In the original version of single inbox, Unity Connection employed AWS push notifications. Push notifications have the requirement of the Exchange cache to be able to initiate HTTP connections back to Unity connection. This isn't feasible in a cloud-based environment. Office 365 leverages Exchange 2010 SP1, and with that version, another solution for a notification mechanism exists, that is, streaming notifications. Office 365 supports Microsoft Exchange 2010 Service Pack 1, which introduces streaming notifications, a new feature that combines push and pull notifications. Streaming notification combines both. After establishing notification subscription, the connection remains open to allow the server to push notifications back to the application. No requirement to request updates for the full subscription, and no need to create a listener application as for the push notifications. After the service binding is completed, a subscription is made to the inbox, and the notification will be sent for new voicemail messages and for items that have been created or deleted in the inbox. Giving the overall detailed streaming call flow, we have presented Cisco Unity connection on one end and Microsoft Office 365 on another end. Now, explaining all these call flow, these are described in the next coming slides. User registration in Cisco Unity connection for Office 365 Unified Messaging Service. Step 1. Subscription is sent for every Office 365 user from COC to Microsoft Office 365 Exchange server. In response, a unique subscription ID is assigned to every user from Microsoft Office 365 Exchange to COC as shown in the diagram. Step 2. All the subscription IDs which are configured on same Office 365 UMS and have same Exchange URL will be aggregated in one GET streaming request from COC to Microsoft Office 365 Exchange server, as can be seen in the diagram. Streaming notifications for the users are received from Microsoft Office 365 to COC until final GET streaming response is received from COC. COC will send periodic by default 1 minute GET streaming request to Office 365 server. Given the streaming call flow, the aggregation of 500 users in one GET streaming event is shown. Cisco Unity connection at one end sends 500 users in one streaming thread to communicate with Microsoft Office 365 Exchange server. Moving forward with the Microsoft Office 365 configuration. Configuration of Microsoft Office 365. Create one or more service accounts on Office 365 server with which Cisco Unity connection will communicate. Step 2. Create new user accounts or move old on-premises user accounts to Office 365. Step 3. Impersonation rights to service accounts could be assigned using steps described in the coming slides. How to change roles on Microsoft Office 365. Create a new account, assign privileges to it. Step 1. On Microsoft Windows PowerShell endpoint, run the following command and enter the Office 365 administrator account credentials for authentication using the highlighted command. Moving forward with the step 2, to establish a remote Windows PowerShell session with Office 365, use the new PS Session Windows PowerShell commandlet to connect with the generate remote Windows PowerShell endpoint at the given link. Run the following command to create remote Exchange shell session as highlighted. Moving forward with step 3, run the following command to import all remote Exchange shell commands to local client-side session, as shown in the diagram. Now, assigning the Application Impersonation Management role to Unified Messaging Service accounts. Use New Management Role Assignment Exchange Management Shell commandlet to grant the service account permission to impersonate all the users in the organization using the command in the highlightation. Where name parameter specifies the name of the new role assignment. For example, Connection service account. The name that you enter for role name appears when you run Get Management Role assignment. Role parameter indicates that the application impersonation role is assigned to the user specified by the user parameter. User is the name of the Unified Messaging Services account in alias @domain format. For example, in the highlighted font. Configuration on Cisco Unity Connection site. There are certain steps for configuring Office 365 in Unity Connection which are still the same except for one new field in a COCF page for UMS. After selection of the service type as Office 365, you can put proxy server in the service page if your connection is not directly connected to Internet. And assign service account to application impersonation rule based on the previous steps shown. VMO for Outlook. If a user has a single inbox feature enabled for the Exchange account, they will get a voice outbox under their outbox folder. For proper operation, it is recommended that every single inbox user install ViewMail for Outlook into Outlook. If VMO is installed, there will be a new ViewMail pane on Outlook tool or option dialog, and the VMO options are presented in the new message dialog. That's all for the general configuration for Office 365. Thank you.